Alright, so Nashville number system. Um, Super useful concept. Takes a few different parts to get there, a few different ideas. Um, Prerequisites, got to know your E and A shaped bar chords, both major and minor for both. Should be easy to look up. There are tons of explanations for that out there. Basically, I'm going with same shape as your F sharp major or your B major. F sharp major for your E shape, B major for your A shape. We also need to know the major scale. Any pattern will do, but it's easier for me to see and explain with the 3-note per string pattern. You can look that up. Just Google major scale 3-note, and it's going to autofill the rest. But 3-note per string pattern looks like this. This is in G. That's really all you need to know for this, but it keeps on going. Alright, so, and then you're going to need to know the major scale. So the Ionian mode has the tonic as your 1. So with a G major scale, the first note is G. So it's the Ionian mode. This is kind of the starting place for modal thinking in my book. You also need to understand what diatonic is. That means you're only using notes that belong to the tonic key. So you don't have to know the notes per se for every key in order to understand this. Helps if you do, for sure. But like for G, we know that G's only got one sharp. It's F. So F sharp. So we're G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and then G. We are only using those notes all the way through the scale, and for harmonization, that makes it diatonic. A C major example would have no sharps or flats, right? Let's see. So that's your C major scale done roughly. So yeah, that shape gives you only the notes of whatever key you're playing in that major scale. So the next thing we got to know is our chord qualities. So across, if we're going to keep it diatonic, which is only using those notes, then it's going to follow a very specific pattern. So for G, we're looking at G major. Well, I'll give you the pattern. Pattern is major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. That's the order. No matter what key you're in, if you're playing diatonically, that's the order. And starting from the 1 or the tonic, that's the. So it would go major, minor, minor. Notice we're following the pattern of that 3-note per string scale. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and then diminished, which I use this shape. I don't use diminished chords often. And then right back to 1. So if we got those things down, we memorize that pattern. I'll try to put some of this stuff in the description. Then we need to assign Roman numerals, assign numbers essentially, but we like to use Roman numerals. And that's just makes it very clear. It's kind of the understood language here. So I use capital or uppercase Roman numerals for the majors, lowercase for the minors. I try to do that consistently no matter how I'm writing them out. And then for diminished, I just use a major with the little, it's like a degree Fahrenheit or Celsius symbol, little circle up there. So that makes it 1, 2, 3, and then back on G for 1. So what that lets us do, excuse me, my voice is cracking a little bit. What that lets us do is we can take that same pattern and move it to any key. So if our starting point is A, for example, so we can get to that. So like we can use common chord progressions like a 1 4 5, like I'm in A 1. We know our 1 2 3 4. 4 is right below there. Forgive me for the dogs barking too. I can't do anything about that except for maybe go inside and it's too beautiful out here. Maybe a little warm. So if I'm in A is my 1, D is my 4, E is my 5. Real common sound, right? But we know, so same thing for G. So that gives us that pattern, but it also gives us, if we want our 2, so I'm just going 1 to 2, right? We know our 1's major, 2 is minor, and we know how to get there. And then we change keys. Still playing the same thing. It works no matter where. 3, where's it at? We know our 1's here, 2's here, 3's here. Let's go back to where I can play here. So our 3 is, I like going to the 4 from there, right? It's got a pull. You can go anywhere you want. That's the beauty of this. It lets you experiment and play a little bit. You don't have to start on the 1, a common jazz progression, 2 5 1. So if I'm in G, I would instead start on the 2, which is A, right? So 2 5 1. So I find the 1 2. 2 is A, 3 4 5 is D. So 2 5 1 progression, right? 2 5 1. That's the home, the tonic, right? Notice the first chord we play is minor, and because of the progression, we know we're landing on that. But because it's diatonic, we feel that home, right? So that kind of gives us some. It's kind of the starting point for understanding. The most important thing you do while you do this, while you learn all this, is to listen. Listen to how the 1 and the 2 feel together. How the 1 and the 3 react together. 1 and the 4. Right, it's plagal cadence, right? Perfect cadence. 5 1 5 1. Each one of these qualities has a very specific sound and a specific relationship to the 1. Lets you kind of riff around and know that you're in the key. You can memorize just the shapes and where everything's at, but it's cooler or it gives you more stuff to work with if you kind of go through that process. Make sure you learn all those things. E and A shaped bar chords, major scale, 3-note per string pattern, know what diatonic is, understand that, which I hope I explained that well. It's kind of a tough one for me to explain. Your chord qualities: major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Assign Roman numerals to that: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. I'll put an example for that in the description for sure. Take all that and play with it, listen to it. The next step after that, in my mind, is to learn where your 1, 4, and 5 is if you're rooted on the A string. So like, let's say C is your 1, and you want to be right here. Well, everything moves. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 can come all the way back here to F, right? 5, 1. So that 1, 4, 5, 1. So you're kind of swapping your shapes and moving around where it's at. May do a more in-depth lesson on that, but it's really as simple as that. Figuring out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything moves down. So if you went from G, that major scale, and then you moved it down to C, and that was your tonic instead, everything just slides down. You just have to compensate for where that B string goes. And then what comes up here on top is like, let's see, I think it's the same thing on top. And then your numbers are leading into that, so that would be a 7, 6, 5, 4. So 7, 4, 5. Anyway, without trying to go any more in depth on that, hopefully you got something out of this. I'm sweating out here. I said it was nice out, and it is definitely warm, but it is nice. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good day.